Hey y'all, this is AL Thick Madame, and this is Cinnamon Sugar. I have her braided up and tucked and thrown and all kinds of things or whatever, but I finally have my braids. I have not had braids at all this entire summer, and I finally put some in. I was exhausted. I was exhausted by the time I was done, so I'm happy that it's over. Anyway, I just wanted to come on here and give y'all an update. I'm actually um, recuperating, which is why I'm at this angle. I have one of my feet up. Y'all, I was doing the most to the degree that earlier this week I ended up bruising two toes, and they are the same toe on each foot. I was trying to overcompensate, and when I try to overcompensate for certain things I'm doing so I don't have to stop and basically like lose momentum, I'll start doing my mind will just be like, oh well, figure out a way to push through, and I end up overexerting other muscles in my body in order to push through and get it done. But I forgot how I end up paying for stuff like that. So now I'm in the process of paying for it. I might post a pic of what my left toe looked like because my other toe looked the same. But forewarning, I have done nothing to my toes. All I have done was cut them. I'm talking about I have done nothing outside. Like I don't file them after I cut them now. I just cut them all the way off and go on about my business because nothing has been snagging on my socks and things. So, but that means also I don't buff them. I haven't buffed them. I was gonna start back doing all the things I used to do to my toes after I had lost a lot more weight. But yeah, for me, if I don't feel up to it, I don't do anything to my toes. I just keep them trimmed down and that's it. But when I tell y'all the way that my toes are cut and everything, it's not how I normally keep my toes cut. Even if I'm not wearing polish, even if I'm not gonna wear a fake nail or something over it to forego having to go through this long process of actually doing my toes like people do when they go to a shop. Usually my toenails are never cut the way that they're cut now, but they literally are just cut any old kind of way and just cut low. But you will easily be able to tell which toe is the bruised toe on that particular foot. And like I said, the other foot is doing the same. I was doing the most. When I tell y'all I did the most exercise wise, it was so much that I did. I exercised, I did so much. In all honesty, I might not need to exercise for the rest of the week. Like that's how much I did the most. Talking about somebody who worked out for like 8 to 8.5 hours. I was doing a lot, y'all. But yeah, I done learned my lesson. I'm gonna sit down. Um, I might go into depth about that sometime um, after a little time has passed. Anyway, I have other videos in my phone that I have not uploaded. So what I'm gonna do is share with y'all exactly what I was saying in those videos in an effort to cut down on the time because y'all know I be doing too much. So I went to the doctor last week. I think it was literally 7 days ago now, officially today. I went to the doctor. This was my second time going to a doctor in over 20 years. So I met my the person who is assigned to me to be my doctor. She seemed really nice. She was trying to catch herself up on everything I had going on with myself, and she was impressed that I have lost the type of weight that I have been losing so far and how I've been disciplined. And I explained to her that the doctor who saw me before her was hurting my ankles. I don't remember if I even posted a video telling y'all about my first experience, but he was at my ankles and he asked if he could touch me and all this other stuff or whatever. And I was just like, okay, he heard me. Then I told him he was hurting me and he was like, I know, I'm sorry. And he basically was doing it so that he could see how much pressure he had to apply just to get to my bones because my ankles and feet were that swollen. So despite me having shoes on and my feet being deceptive as if they were no longer swollen, which I already knew they were still swelling at that time when I saw him, yeah, my ankles were still swollen, and he got to the most swollen leg, and I was just like, oh my God. I didn't know what he was doing. I was just like, oh my gosh, this hurts so bad. And he just pushing, like he literally was squeezing my ankles, trying to feel bone. Now, my feet look normal sized again. My ankles are normal sized again. Now, my legs, I still need work done on those because of what this whole situation has caused my legs to do unknowingly. But it's still better than what I had going on before. Some things that I didn't know were simple that I was unable to do. It used to be easy for me to just put my socks on and put my shoes on. Like, let me be late. Like, let me be later than I want to leaving the house or whatever. And it's time for me to put my socks on. You know how you can put one of your legs up on your shin or whatever, and while you're standing, to put your socks on and your shoes. Before I put in my notice at my job, I could no longer even do that, and it didn't dawn on me that something was in the process of happening that was messing me up health wise. So yeah, now I can do it. It's not as easy as it used to be, but I'm getting there because I've already lost 70 something pounds and going. I think that before the end of this year, I will be losing at least 150 pounds. As long as I continue to do what I'm doing, which is mainly eating clean, 90 something % of the time eating clean, because I'm not going to ever sit up here and lie to y'all and make it seem like, oh yeah, I've only been eating 100% clean, y'all. No. When I did do that, I told y'all I was 9 months straight eating straight fruit and certain nuts, and all of them were considered to be alkaline, and that was it. And I was fine. I don't know. I had all the willpower in the world and everything else at that time, but it has been extremely hard for me to do this go round. I actually, oh my gosh, I'm trying not to cry because I just thought about this. So I haven't been to see my friend since when I attempted to go and see him on my birthday. Y'all know that my birthday is February 14th. And so my friend that I'm referring to is the one who was bitten by a recluse spider, and he ended up having to learn how to do everything over again. He was in a coma, all this other stuff. Like, it was terrible. So when I went to see him, I was going to take some things to him, and I had changed my plans completely. I was like, oh, well, either I'm going to DoorDash some food to him so that they can bring it to his room for that to be what he's going to eat for that day. And then I was going to show up later on with some candy, some donuts from this place I had been hearing about that has like the best donuts here in this city, or supposedly supposed to be the best. They were really good. I did show y'all what I got for my birthday, and some other stuff I was going to bring to him so that he can, have his own, he can celebrate that holiday in a sense, I guess you could say, instead of just being there by himself possibly all day. And I just didn't want it to be where he texted me and then that was the end of it, him telling me happy birthday, and that was going to be the end of it, because he had texted me earlier that morning. But long story short, again, to those of y'all who don't know or don't remember, by the time I got up there to see him, he had been rushed to the hospital. He was no longer in the facility that he lives in. He had his colostomy bag removed, and something went wrong with the removal of it. And they had just checked him and all of that. The nurses had made their rounds, and then the next nurse that came in there that morning, like sometime shortly after he texted me happy birthday, they ended up having to rush him to the emergency room. So when I got up there, imagine my surprise, bringing all that stuff in there. And I'm looking in the room. I don't see him. I'm looking down the hall and everywhere that he would be. And I'm like, everybody else in their room, are they out and about walking around or wheeling themselves around or doing whatever? I don't see him. I go to the nurses station and the nurses are like, who are you here to see? And they one by one started hearing who I was there to see. And they were like, oh. And I started telling like too much that would be intimate information. Like, I obviously know him, whether I was family or not. And that's when they told me that he had been rushed to the emergency room. When I tell y'all, I felt like my heart stopped for a minute because my jaw dropped and everything. I was just like, what you mean he been rushed to the emergency room? I just talked, like, I'm telling you, his life was flashing before my eyes. I thought this man was in the hospital fighting for his life and dying. That told my nerves up so bad. I was just like, oh my God, like tears came to my eyes. I was like, let me get out of here because I can't. And I don't do well in hospitals. I really don't like visiting the hospital. And at that time, everything was literally happening to me. And I didn't know. The swelling had already started since 2024, towards the end of 2024. And I hadn't even paid attention to it. My seat had to be, adjusted little by little in my car and all this other stuff. So I was none the wiser that what ended up being the situation was what it was going to be. So that was the last time I went to visit him. So I hadn't seen him. And he had been asking when was the next time I was going to see him. And I very rarely tell him when I'm coming. So I love to surprise him. So that was going to be my surprise. So either Saturday or Sunday, I'm going to go and see him. And I'm not going to tell him. So I'm very excited. And I have some exciting news to share with him, which is a part of why I did not go last weekend, because I was like, I might have some interesting stuff to share with him, because he's somebody who he really wants to hear. He really does want to hear about your day and the things that have been going on and all this other stuff. Even though I've finally filled him in on what has been happening with me, but and some other things or whatever in particular, as to why I want to now update him on some stuff. It's gonna be a situation. A lot of hugging gonna be going on. He gonna be very excited. So yeah. But y'all, I'm just trying to make it. I'm just so happy that I've been losing weight. I gotta get my life together. Listen, y'all, I have been sitting up here losing weight in a way where I have to remember that I've lost the weight. My body don't even know how to get into the car how I used to get into a vehicle. So I'll get to the door and I'll be like, I don't remember how I'm supposed to get in this car. So I get in the car the way that I've been trained myself for the last several months to get in my car. It's so weird. I don't know how to just get in my car. Like, I open my door all the way up as far as it'll go, and I balance myself and hop up and then slowly like try to get my leg in there, and I do the most to get into my car, and I just don't remember what I'm supposed to do to get in the car. It's like I don't realize until I'm in the middle of doing it. I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't remember. But yeah, I'm just so glad I can actually fit in my car. But yeah, I'm trying to do better. Only, and I'm being honest when I say this, only because my family asked me to. Because this situation that was going on with me was so depressing, and it just, like, the way that all of it just kind of did what it did in my thighs as quickly as it did, it kind of like threw us all for a loop. And I was here depressed really, really bad. Like, oh my gosh. Like, what in the world? I will go to the doctor a few times a year or whatever. I don't want to go. They be wanting you to go every month, and I just be looking like, baby, ain't nobody trying to do all of this. So anyway, I'm supposed to be getting STD panels done. The doctor who saw me is supposed to be getting this ultrasound that's specifically for my legs, because you know that your calves are basically your second heart. And one of the exams that she did to me was she put her hand on the top of my foot so that she could find the vein and all this other stuff or whatever, right? It was easy for her to find one of them. And the one that I thought would have been the easiest for her to find, that was the one she couldn't find. It took her literally the longest to find that one. And I was just like, she couldn't find like a heartbeat, so to speak. Like she couldn't find the vein. And so she said it's usually difficult to find anyway, but with my condition, she wants me to be referred out to certain specialists so that they can do ultrasounds on my calves, and they can get everything that they need and go from there. I'm not nervous about the STD panels because I've been cleared of things after. Hallelujah. After I was with my ex, all of what he had going on. Thank you, G. Hallelujah. I'm about to scream in here. All the stuff he had going on, when I tell you, it's a miracle that I came out unscathed. Hallelujah. But I'm supposed to be getting an STD panel done. And something else. But I think they're going to do it there in the office. I think some kind of OBGYN stuff or whatever, because I have not had anything like that done in over 20 years. And I'm just like, girl. And it's very uncomfortable. And I mean, I'm all about the holistic approach anyway. I don't really want much, but I'm trying to do as much as what I'm comfortable doing. But again, I'm not trying to see these folks 5 million times a year. They want you to be at the doctor's office living there. And I'm just like, no, I don't. And then they keep you for so long. Even though I get a lot of dedication, and the doctor that I go to, she's like really like the people that come in there that work at that place that I go to, they're very dedicated. They don't do like most doctors where you'll see the doctor for all of 2 minutes and that's it. If that, I don't even think they have enough time to sit down. I see her. Like she sits down and she literally goes through my whole chart. She talks to me about various things, like all of that. Like I'm in her face almost the entirety of my visit. So it's completely different from anything I've ever experienced from a doctor from the time I was a child up until when I was an adult, even when I was getting flu shots, up until when I last stopped, getting flu shots. I used to barely see the doctor wasn't the one administering the shots. Like, I'm just like, baby, I don't even know what the doctor look like no more. So, but yeah, I just want to give y'all updates on that. I'm doing okay. I just got to get my life together because I'm so sore, y'all. Oh, Jesus. It's like double of what you normally would feel like if you haven't exercised in a million years and then you finally do exercise and you didn't do the things that you've heard of. Like the things that I've heard of are like being in that cold water, in that ice water, to kind of shock your muscles and stuff so that you don't experience that. I just want to be able to withstand cold water. I would love to just exercise really, really hard and then hop in the shower. That's what I want to be able to do. And it's cold. And let that run on me for about 5 minutes. 2 to 5 minutes. That's what I want to be able to do. Because I don't think I'll be able to do that ice bath. It's a lot. But anyway, I'm doing so much better. I'm walking much faster. That area on my thighs is getting smaller. I literally have pictures that once this whole situation is said and done, y'all will see the heaviest I was at and where I am at that current time. I just want to thank y'all for all y'all's prayers. If you want to donate, feel free to do so, because the last time somebody donated, I was able to buy compression socks and I needed those bad. My Cash App is AL Thick Madame. Yeah, I appreciate it. Y'all have an amazing day.